my name is Lilleejean Trueman, and I am a director, writer, filmmaker, producer, and actress from New York City.
Outputs. So that's my latest movie that I co-wrote with my friend Darren Gordon Smith, and he's a very talented person who wrote all the music for it. And I guess the best way for me to describe it for most people would be weird science meets Oliver Stone's The Doors, meets Get Him to the Greek, because it's about a rock star who was alive in the 1960s in the psychedelic era, and he happened to run afoul of an electrical current, so he got electrocuted on stage, and so his physical being dies, but he bolts himself up into the stratosphere, his spirit, and it comes back to life in modern times as an avatar through a computer programmer who is a fan of his music. So it's kind of fun coming together between a modern woman and a 1960s kind of chauvinistic rock star guy. And they have to, it's kind of an odd couple sort of thing.
Yeah, I saw part of the trailer where like they're in bed and she's kind of like, like she's like experiencing the real like reality of what it would be like.
Right.
So I was like,
Yeah, well, he's, a sexy rock star that she's always, fantasized about his music and how handsome he is and everything. But when he comes to life, he really is a product of the 50s and 60s and needs to learn a little bit about life in the modern world.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I think when you think about it, Rebel Wilson just did this movie where it was I don't know if it's like the same, but she was a cheerleader and she died. She was doing like this cheerleading stunt and like she was in a coma for 20 years and then she woke up, and the 90s compared to like 2022 is totally different. So kind of like, it's like a culture shock in many ways. Do you delve into psychology and stuff? Because like it sounds like you talk a lot about like that sort of stuff a little bit.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said.
Do you go into like psychology and stuff with the things you do? Because there's like an undertone a little bit about that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm extremely
I did the adaptation of that. Then I did another adaptation of another novel called No Solicitors. And I made it into a film
2015,
starring
right?
Eric
I think I
Roberts.
saw that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I made it into a film starring Eric Roberts. And then all of a sudden I started getting a reputation for an adaptation guy. And Howard Kazanjian, who was vice president of Lucasfilms for 9 years, got me in touch with the New York Times bestselling novelist who wrote this novel called Lightning, when it's Lightning Strikes Twice.
Okay.
And so they brought me on board to write the adaptation, which I did, and then now out trying to sell that.